Hello, greens, beans, and everyone in between. Welcome to the first episode of Anitube Digest, Misfit Edition, the show where we look at some of the most Anitube of Anitube videos ever made. Well, according to me. And today I'll be covering videos posted between July 21st to the 28th of 2024. Obviously, this series is inspired by the series that Shaves has been making and ending. Rest in peace. And I wanted to do my own version of this beloved thing. For this first episode, I'm going at this with as little editing as possible to get them out as soon as possible. So, if anything could be changed or that I could be doing better with more editing or suggestions for sections that could be added or removed, let me know in the comments below. Oh, and a huge shout out to the site AnitubeList.com, for without it, finding curated videos wouldn't have been as easy as it was. So without further delay, let's get right to it then. Alright, first video on the chopping block, but it's more like a praise block because I don't really do not goods in this type of video series. And that video is Added Cheeses, Eminence and Shadow, It's Like a Good Poo. And first off, I love this thumbnail. I really love this thumbnail. Look at it. This is like he took like a scene from that, like the glorious poop scene, and then just put a nice good old pixelated tard there. I am very impressed how something so simple can be so effective. And the title is funny. Like really funny. I just really adore it. But like to the actual video's context, I just want to say like one of the reasons I wanted to do Anitube Digest, or I mean there's a multitude of reasons, like who are we kidding? But like one of the main reasons I wanted to do it was because as someone who makes a lot of review and recommendation type of videos, I've been trying to find more fun ways to make review and recommendation videos, because I feel like in Anitube, in modern Anitube, it's become like a hard breed to kind of sell that type of content, because anybody can watch anime. There's a lot of anime out there, and there's only so much time people have in their lives. I mean, if they're over like the age of 16, but like who we kidding about that? But what I liked about Added Cheese's video was just how fun it was to listen to. Like, he has a good rapport and dialogue about trying to get me or get anybody to watch this show, regardless of what the opinion is. If the goal of one's video is to get a viewer to check out a show, he's done a really good-ass job with it. Good job, Added Cheese. Good job. I think one of the reasons I liked the dialogue has to be like, okay, so how do I explain this in a weird way? So one type of like part of any recommendation or review piece of content is the recap. Like, recap, preview, whatever you want to call it. It's that part of the video where you try to explain what the show is about and like telling people, oh, this person in the show is named this, and this is what they do, and this is how they get there, and this is the conflict of the show. And I feel like with a lot of Anitubers doing recommendation and review videos, the easiest trapping that could happen is that you say the recap or the preview or like the synopsis. That's the right word. The synopsis of the show, and it just kind of loses people. It's really easy to, because like maybe the dialogue is it feels like you're reading a prompt. But no, what I feel like with Added Cheese's dialogue here is that he always puts his own little thoughts or personality during that part. Before you even get to your opinion of the show, like if you can get people past, I feel like if you can get people past the synopsis phase, then you're pretty much Gucci. And it doesn't feel like he's like reading from like a wiki page about what the show's about, if that makes any sense. Also, give it up. I'm bouncing around, but like, give it up for Consumer, the editor here. I'm also going to link his thing in the description. Just contrary to popular belief, your Anitube video doesn't have to be like superly like hyper ass animated for it to be a good video. But I think what makes it powerful is the deliberate choices you put in those scenes. Even if you're just going from scene to scene and with a little bit of PNGs thrown around somewhere, I felt like every piece of frame for frame picture was done well, and proves that you do not have to go like balls to the wall. Ooh, I'm gonna move it this way. I'm gonna move this every other thing here. Ooh, look at me with my short attention span. Nah. He just did something and did it well. And I think it paired with Added Cheese's like just overall hominess. It's a deliberate choice. I think that is the word of the video. Deliberate, thoughtful, and fun. Deliberate, thoughtful, and fun. I feel like that can be the reason why reviews and recommendations are like really hard to sell to the average viewer, especially for me, because I feel like I'm not that best at making the shows when I recommend them fun to listen. I mean, I try to make them fun to listen to, but it's an uphill battle. So I understand why people try to do more analytical content where an anime is supposed to have some type of outsiding meaningless point. But if you're not trying to do that and you're trying to do recommendations, this is a good example of a video that does that. And that thumbnail, I clicked the video immediately when I saw this fucking thumbnail. It's hilarious. So, good job, and I look more forward to seeing more of this guy's content. Next up, we have the video, not a JoJo reference, the manly art style by the anime hero. And I learned today, this was an edutainment video. So, a little backstory, about my viewing preferences. So, I think the least type of Anitube content that it's hard for me to watch just as a person is probably Manga Tube in particular, unless I've watched the series myself. But I think that's not a bad thing, since a lot of people probably have the same views as I do about like watching something that they've read themselves. But like in terms of like the style of making videos specifically about manga and just the manga itself, even if they have like an anime adaptation to it, is really hard for me, because I like moving pictures. I'm sorry. I like my moving pictures. That being said, I am a sucker for art style analysis. So when I saw this thumbnail, I focused mostly on art style manga. It was a weird dichotomy, but I decided to give it a try, and I'm glad I did. I think Anime Hero did a great job in like getting me really invested into like something that I never really thought about. It gave me a very, I never thought of that before type of thing. Because like one of the reasons I love JoJo's as a series is that I like the colors, I like the fashion, I like a lot of things. I wouldn't say it's just the maname part, but I always thought Araki's like art style was very fashionable. That doesn't mean that I assumed that everything manly started with JoJo's first. Obviously it's got to come from somewhere. But this video does a really great job of deep diving where the maname art style comes from and where other shows before and now take their inspirations from. I love how my eyeballs just go freaky out sometimes. Oop, there it is again. I don't, obviously, if you're a JoJo fan like myself, I'm not going to assume that you are somebody who thinks everything and anything manly or like bizarre or who's a what's it came from JoJo and is the best thing since sliced bread. But it is a very infamous fan base, so I don't blame the guy for a few like light opinions about the feelings JoJo fans have towards their favorite show and the memes and the art style and whatever. I think that I found this video to be very digestible content-wise. Sometimes when there's like an analysis video, like there's always this type of analysis tone where I watch it best when I'm like doing something else in the background. And honestly, I feel like YouTube is starting to go that route and like kind of ushering creators to make videos that are basically for the background, so that way they play it over for watch time. But I actually did engage a lot with watching the visuals as well and seeing like where the inspirations come from. Do I understand all of it? Probably not, but I didn't have to. I feel like I got more wholesomeness out of it than I had originally, intended. Therefore, I really like this. But the next time he brings something else to the table that I have seen, I am very willing to listen to it. So, You know what, the Anime Hero? I enjoyed your video, and pink background. I don't know how to end this segment, but pink background. I'm just going to come out and say it. Redjoker's The Rise of a New Anime Genre is brain rot goodness, and I love every fucking bit of it. That's the wrong eyeballs. Love every freaking bit of it. I love when a video style speaks to the inner me, which is silly, shit, crazy brain rot, and it just makes it fun. Like, no matter what the guy is talking about, I can just enjoy it. This guy can tell me any recipe on how to make a fucking salami sandwich, and I will listen to it. And the other things that he also kind of mentioned that I will not go on, because you should probably watch this video. I love when Anitube videos are fun. But substance-wise, this was essentially about talking about the rising subgenre of girls band anime, like Bocchi the Rock. I mean, it's been here since K-On! But it's only really gotten very popular in the recent zeitgeist of the community. It's basically for people who don't really want to watch an idol anime, who want to watch a music anime and like watching cute girls do cute things, but don't want to go into the big deadly laser that is idol anime. It's not my personal genre. I mean, hashtag not my genre. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of in the middle for me. Probably because, like, I watch a lot of these shows, kind of ironically. For me, when I watch, like, say, Love Live, I understand why the music is the way it is, because, you know, music is subjective, all yada 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 yada. But when it comes to, like, the songs I have, in which I have some download my playlist, I kind of can, like, put the music to the visuals, if that makes any sense. When I think of, say, a rock band, or like traditional music and an anime girl singing it, there's some kind of disconnect for me. Maybe I'm just a stupid person. Maybe I just have bad taste in music. Either way, this video was a really fun way to introduce the genre. Also, like, the Sonic music. I saw you putting a lot of Sonic music in there. You little rascal. This was I saw all that based. His takes are based. In fact, I'm going to quote something he said not to quote him with, but I'm going to say it. A show with cardboard characters is a cardboard show. I laughed my ass off when I heard that. And secondly, the following phrase is out of context, but I'll get to that point in a minute. Somehow, single girls are the best material for the imagination of the kink. Redjoker 2024. You're welcome. Overall, it's a well-structured video despite all the brain rot. So essentially, the first part is kind of establishing through like an episode structure how the girls band goes. And when you think about it, it is just idol anime in a different skin, kinda. And that at the end of the day, you're watching morely for the journey and not the destination. Sure, you want to see them like make it big and do the big song, but it's really a character-driven genre from what I'm understanding with his video, and I gotta like that. I mean, the closest thing I've watched, ironically, is like Dance with Devils, because the music in that, while not good in my opinion, it's funny in its own right. Just watching that girl from Dance with Devils kind of run into all these guys just doing musical scenes, all while trying to like hit on her in the weirdest, awkward ways possible. But hey, that's just me, man. Go back to this video. Redjoker's video is like very acceptable, and I just like. I think a lot of the stuff that I liked about it were more like the tangents, the really silly jokes hitting there. But one part of me that actually like understood a lot is the Yuri talk. So in anime, it is very common for a show to do lots of will they, won't they's with their characters, especially if they are of the same sex. The kind of Fujoshi bait that was kind of unnecessary and out of nowhere. But when you think about it, when you do a will they, won't they, but you never really establish it, it can, in the right genre and in the right type of show, elevate the fan base in a way where everybody can like think of their own outcomes without really hurting anybody's feelings about, depending on if a couple's established. This is kind of why I personally think that like slice of life shows that do have a romance that ends in a traditional romance. You can see it in a way where if the show has a direct couple going through, like Toradora, you kind of want the couple in Toradora to go through. But like in a show where like anybody's game and everyone's kind of single, limiting their choices for a canon couple might stifle the fan base. So he does make a really good point. Which, by the way, for those, I know this is, but now this is a random tangent. Yes, I know the Deer anime is out. I'm going to wait more episodes come out than just binge the whole thing, because I know I'm going to love it, regardless of if it's good or not, because I'm biased like that. Overall, though, Redjoker's video, I think this is a great video to watch if you don't know girl span like I do. You're curious about why the heck is this getting so popular, and then you watch this and it's really entertaining to understand why some people love this genre. I think at the end of the day, I might even give some of these shows a chance. I know people will not shut up about Bocchi's Rock though. Now then, some of the videos that we've talked about so far have been very much fun, dumb stuff, or just entertaining in general, but this next video I want to talk about is so to the T of what I think of when I think of Anitube anime and manga analysis, that you'd think that someone like me would not like them, but I do like my traditional romps of like Anitube analysis. And Aniessays, the manga that hijacks your mind, is a perfect example of how well that works. I just gotta say, this video is well paced. Like, before I knew it, the video was over, and I was very engripped with the topic. I came in this expecting something like the usual romp, but I found Aniessays' depiction and impressions of Kagurabachi so far to be very, very infectious. The title does not lie. The manga, and therefore this video, does hijack my mind. First of all, that voice is nice and warm. Good microphone. There's emotion behind it. I think that's one of the reasons I like it so much. It's not like monotone, nor is it like it's just stagnant. As the video progresses, you can tell that his mood for each scene he talks about changes. And I really love that. Structurally, I like how, unlike the past videos that do, like, they talk about what the thing is first and then they talk about their thoughts, he breaks up his thoughts between his analysis and talking about what the show is. Like, 1 minute he'll talk about, let me rephrase that. I call this type of video the no bullshit type of video. It gets to the point and gets to the point well. It's eloquent. It tells you, hey, this is a story that I think more people should watch, and this is why you should watch it. He gets straight to the point why you should watch it, but it's like a fine wine. It just kind of, there's more layers behind it. And it never gets boring. Especially the part where he talks about a specific scene in like an earlier chapter and like points back to each little element and why that relates to something like me. So like one thing I took out of it is how Kagurabachi focuses on the theme of creation, and like once it's kind of out there, it's up to people's interpretations and how they do it. You are part to blame because you create that thing into the world, but at the same time, there is depth to how things are created. I'm not the best at this. I'm doing literally this all on the spot, so I apologize if that does not make sense, but it's going on in my brain. Anyway, the Aniessays video does have a lot of tropes that I would expect by. When I think of anime, manga, analysis, it's got like tonal music, it's got simple but clean elements. All the editing. I like the fact that the manga pages kind of seemingly seep into the background. Like, he uses the white background like how manga pages are. They do the thing where they like, sometimes they make the manga panels move, or they just kind of let it all blend together like a nice chicken noodle soup, if that makes any sense. It also especially emphasizes his point when he talks about how the panels have a great use of negative and positive space. I just thought that was very profound. It is a manga video, and it's a really good damn manga video. It's just got warm atmosphere, varied dialogue. It's engaging in what it's trying to do. It gets to the point. I was gonna say it's artful but not pretentious, but I don't want to be mean like that, because I don't think everybody out there in Anitube that makes these types of videos are like pretentious. I don't want anyone to think that. It's artful. I think that's the better word for it. It's an artful video that is very accessible to people like me who have the attention span of a goldfish. I do not know what will happen if he tries to recommend me a manga that's really not to my liking, because Shonen Battle is pretty palatable to most people who are accepting of it. But like something like that manga about making dictionaries, if he can get me to be interested in something like that, I will hold my hands up and praise this man for his conversational skills, because that would be pretty kino. But yeah, also, I like the minimalism of this thumbnail. Yeah, it's nice and clean. Yeah. Ah, yes. TinyWave TV's Storyline 2, The Yellow X Red Valley. So it took me till like just now to realize that this is the second video in a series of videos about this anime that I do not remember what the anime is. And to be fair, because this is the second video in the series, she kind of just TinyWave just continue on. I'll call about the commentary, but the commentary, I was always wondering why isn't she talking about the name of the anime, or maybe I'm just I kind of forgot that in time. I probably did and wasn't paying attention because I was so enamored by the way she talked. Listening to her speak is like talking to an old friend at a coffee shop as you guys gush over anime for like the most mundane and sometimes like very picky reasons. But it's like those picky reasons are personal to you, and I really love that. It's got a very different vibe in terms of the commentary. I also, in terms of like aesthetics, I like her avatar. She's so like me for real, really going the avatar route. But I like her backgrounds, her like main wave backgrounds, because you get it tiny waves. I don't really see that as often with like Anitube channels kind of just committing to a single like type of brand. And I thought it was really smart to have using the branding as like bars to kind of border the scene. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Here's the thing, I didn't disenjoy it because I only realized until late that I was watching the second series. And this is my first time seeing TinyWave's work in general. But even though I just thought this whole thing was cute. Literally, it just felt like hot gossip. You and your friends talk about, like, you know that guy from, like, math class? Oh, he's kind of got a busy... Like, it feels like that. I just love the slight slant and personality to everything she says. So I know I've said a lot about how, oh, Misfit, you don't watch a lot of manga recommendations. And here we are having, like, I think a truly... I don't know if she counts this as a react. I'm gonna count it as a react because that's how I feel like got it from. It's not really recommending it. It's more like we're going through the story pieces like one video at a time. So I'm gonna say a reaction piece, and she in the comments can say otherwise. Until then, that's what I'm saying. Either way, I think it's fun. I will probably go back and watch the first one, depending on once I finally know what this anime actually is. I'm just gonna post it up here in post about what it is. So yeah, the only thing that I will say that I found was odd, but I still liked it in a quirky way, is that I could not understand what was going on, except for the fact that she really got a problem with this sister lady. And you know what? Fair. She looked like she had some tough issues going on. Like I said, it seemed like these two guys were protecting her, or at least the red hair guy was like, you know, still thinking of her. I don't know, I just got lost in like the vibe, man. This was a nice vibe of a video. I definitely watched this one while I was like doing something else, like eating oatmeal or something like that. Like I said, I'll go back to watching the first one so I can get more context. But I'm glad this thing showed up in my feed or the Anitube list, because we need to see more conversation like this. Something that like gets us really... It felt like going to anime club again. Yeah! This video reminds me of like anime club in college! Yeah! That's the exact vibe I get. So, I don't know if that's a good representation of how I thought, but there you go. Don't you just love it when a video has a thumbnail that makes you kind of just stop and want to read it because they purposely put something in there with tiny text and you just get really curious in your brain to do that? That's this girl, because this video by Daniel Peppers, The Future of Manga Translation is Scary, did exactly just that. Like, Pause the video. Look at that good old-fashioned red circle with the red arrow. Simple but effective. I'm gonna keep this one pretty self-explanatory because honestly, it was, like, on the surface, this video was simply a, just talking about the dangers that's coming up with, like, companies wanting to just change to AI subtitling for those in the anime community that's been happily denying that this thing should continue forward. I like the way it comes out. Like, this is a very positive video in terms of keeping things hopeful and just talking about the real, like, urgency for it. Personally, I had a investment and I do care about this topic because I don't want everything that I futurely own, anime or manga wise, to be subtitled by AI. It's just going to be very, very useless. Also, he does make a point. If they're going to hire somebody to just proofread what the AI does, why not just pay them extra money to translate it for them? You know, skip a step. Oh, look at that. Our executives want more money. They want all of the money. Then how about we just, you know, lay off people? And oh, look at a sudden. Now we suddenly have a profit. But I don't want to be, now I'm the one being a little condescending ending. I think that's the reason I'm picking this to talk about. It's one of the few videos on here that I have that is actually, like, with a face and camera that I like. I also like that he showcased, like, his Berserk. Was it Berserk? It was Berserk, right? That is Berserk, like his special limited edition Berserk manga collection and Hellsing. Oh, those were beautiful, especially in that camera lighting. I'm so freaking jealous, man. I wish I had, like, a manga series I love so much that I get a deluxe edition of that. But yeah, he's overall very, can I say adorable guy without it being weird? He is a very adorable man. The only thing I think that it was the background music. It just looped after a while. I just kept focusing on that background music just being like, dude, it's like that uplifting inspirational music. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah, I will just say this. I think that one of the reasons I'll let this kind of fly in my selection today, because I just need a nice low video to kind of break the tension between all the fast-paced edits I've picked. Like, you don't need, like, his fancy camera, or just, I mean, it's probably a normal ass camera, but you know how it is. I'm an avatar using creator, not one that uses a camera. I personally would be too scared to use one because I don't want to put on all types of makeup or make sure I wear the right clothes, or, you know, I like doing things in my pajamas. So yeah, I don't got much else to say besides I like the topic he talked about. It was a nice, engaging time, and I hope to see more stuff from this creator. For this entry of the episode, I just want to preface that the more I thought about it, I didn't really pick this video, not for what it does on an outer layer, but like the journey of how it came to be. Not journey how it came to be, more like, let me explain. So, Arikendo's The Manga Pokemon Doesn't Want You to Read. I like Pokemon. This is a Pokemon anime. Pokemon anime known to be darker than their anime counterparts, so I was all in for this. And basically, it's a video talking about the manga Pokemon Rebirth, which is pretty hard to get, and therefore it's one not many have known or seen. And from there, it was a pretty instant concept for a video that I was pretty interested in. So I watched it. And for what I saw at first, like at least for like the first like 4 minutes, it seemed like the pretty like usual thing. It goes through the entire series and, you know, talks about why it's an interesting piece of Pokemon history. But I think what caught my heartstrings at the end of it all was just how far the creator went to actually see this story to completion. How he realized that, oh, the translation doesn't go so far in English, so he went out of his way to buy the remaining volumes in its original form and then translated it with like Google Translate on the way. And I think that's really, really sweet. It tugs on my heartstrings as like an anime fan, you know, like going out of your way to find something on the internet because you want to find more of it. I remember doing that when I read my mangas. For me, it's finding spoilers about how I don't want to waste my time with like story plot lines that's just gonna go nowhere, or stories that like really have a good twist. Or what's a more innocent example? Oh yeah, when you're like younger and you like try to like find translations of people reading it a month early of manga and then seeing what everybody thought. Oh, I remember doing that a little bit. It was Pretty pog. I think that's what got me to really talk about it, because it's these little intricate moments that sometimes creators do that really makes me like a video a lot more. When they put, like, they're actually showing me, they're not just the creator talking about anime to get like a quick buck, Anitube making money on the internet. I'm just kidding. It's more than just, oh, this is a person talking about anime on the internet. This is a person who likes anime sharing their passion for anime on the internet. There's a different vibe, and I really enjoy that aspect of it a lot more maybe than I should have. You can be the judge of that. Arikendo's video here it had like a sweet sauce, an unexpected sweetness to like his dedication for wanting to see how this story ends. And it just pulled my heartstrings back to a different, simpler time, a simpler misfit who didn't have to deal with the lack of elbows or taxes. Nice video, Arikendo. Nice video. I'm starting this one with a disclaimer that I did not finish the video. Why? Because it's an hour long and I got to 30 minutes before I was ready to write something about this. Who am I kidding? I'm doing this all unscripted, so that's what I'm going at. Also, this is probably the most unfair pick of this entire episode because I was already subscribed to this person way before. They just happened to be posting something this week and I was going to talk about it because I can. That's just how I roll, baby. KaiserBeamz Battle Athletes, a retro anime retrospective, is a fun one to watch while you make dinner. I like KaiserBeamz videos. I just want to say that right now. I am a KaiserBeamz fan. This is how you do retro anime on YouTube. I don't know who has it worse, honestly. Anime Anitubers that talk about retro anime where the algorithm doesn't favor them, or shoujo tube. I'm going to still probably say shoujo tube for other reasons, but we're not going to get to that today. At least retro anime can be enjoyed by a slightly bigger demographic. So essentially, this is just a retrospect of this series called Battle Athletes and Battle Athletes Victory. He's got a very stylish channel with a type of way of doing things that I just enjoy when it comes to talking about retro content, because I feel like it's a great opportunity that when you do retro anime content, you're not just talking about it. If you have the soul and the passion for it, you talk about its creation or some type of little fun tidbit. It doesn't have to be like so in-depth, but just enough to kind of give me more to bite on than just, here is the OVA, here what it's about, here's the characters, here's my opinion. Because like, not everybody just wants to hear a reaction to something they've never heard of. You gotta give them something else to, like, you know, shimmy with it, if you know what I'm saying. For the 30 minutes I have watched, and to be fair, I did watch quite enough while I was making dinner. I've always liked the way his tone of voice is just very warm. It's very inviting. He feels alive, and he feels like he's having fun talking about what he's talking about. It's not really a expert opinion type voice, but it sounds, I mean, it can be, but it's expert in the fun way. That's all you really need, really. I kind of like the retro aesthetic. He kept things like the same. I know this sounds really dumb. I know it sounds really retroactive, but like, some people will take like an old anime and stretch it out to widescreen when it doesn't have a widescreen version. I'm guilty of that as well, so don't think I'm not pointing at myself too. I kind of wish though that like I could have watched one of his shorter videos for this romp, because I don't think I am talking about this person's videos with enough justice. If you like retro anime and retro anime analysis or talks, you will like this channel. I guarantee it. I give it the misfit seal of approval. My eyes went into my head. Now, before we tackle the videos of the week, here are a batch of videos that I wanted to highlight but didn't have much to say on them in the Sizzle Reel. Continuing onward with the theme of Misfit says 1 minute that she's not very prepensive to videos about manga analysis or manga recommendations, yet this entire video ends up being just a lot of manga recommendations and talented people who talk about manga in a really fun way. So therefore, this video and the one of the two of the videos of the week is Brazil's violence through the eyes of a Japanese manga author, Fabula no Mangaka, by the Mangataku. And I did mess up that title, so sue me. This video fucking slaps so hard in like the emotional beats. I don't know where to start. Okay. No, we can start at the start. So the person's called the Manga Taco. The Mango Taku. I like mangoes in a very uncomfortable degree. My blood could be mango juice and I would not bat an eye. I mean, the thumbnail goes pretty hard, but it was Mangutaku's name that kind of got me into this first. But boy, I'm really glad that I watched this video. It's a recommendation of a Brazilian's perspective manga through the eyes of a Brazilian. I just love it. Like, it got me right here in my kokoro. It's really hard to explain my feeling, how I felt. I feel good reading this. Also, like, you know what even makes this video even better? The fact that he not only recommended me 1 anime, but 2 that I actually might check out. Because the same creator created a story called Asper Kanojo that I am very interested in, and I might go buy that thing right now. This story has a little bit more violence, so I might wait until I'm in a better mood set for it. I just feel like just the main reason I picked this one out. I didn't even have to. This is the only one, by the way, that I'm so confident about that I love that I didn't even write notes. I'm going fucking raw on my explanations here. You hear me? Go watch this video. This video is good. This video is really this is why I think Anitube still has its merit. These are the types of videos that make me say Anitube is not dying. We like a lot. Okay, I need to make a this isn't a spoiler alert. This might be a future video about Anitube in general, but like I've been seeing a lot of Anitube videos about, oh, is Anitube dying? Oh, or this, and there are legit concerns about it, and I don't blame anyone for feeling that way. But this video right here, this gives me hope. We are gonna be okay. As long as people make anime and manga content, we are gonna be great. So, without saying more than I have to, give this man a subscribe, give this man a like. There's a reason this is one of my 2 favorite videos of the week. Which, by the way... Okay, so a few hours have passed since the last time I actually took a break from recording all of these. So this batch order, it's gonna sound very out of order because I'm just doing these as I go. This second video of the week video is from someone that I have found might be one of my new favorite Anitubers. In fact, I am so much of a new fan of this Anituber, I'm going to shill really hard for them. So, Kap Cha's The Importance of Fan Service is an absolute banger. No joke. It has everything that I want and more from a Anitube video. It's informative. It's educational. It's funny. It's hype. This is fucking hype. This whole thing. This thing was hyped. It was edited. It was done methodically. Like everything that had to be said, I agree with. It felt like a fist pump in the air. This was like the fist pump of Anitube videos for this week. Oh, so high octane. I love every second of it. Oh my god, I just could yap all day long about that. I could not stop watching it. From the moment it started, the moment it ended, it just kept back and forth with its pacing. And you guys know how much I love my good pacing. Kap Cha's infectious personality seeps through the entire thing. He doesn't just tell you why fan service is important. He shows you in like in different multifaceted layers. I could feel it. It oozed badassery in this particular edit. I don't know if this is his usual editing style, or he just went all out for this particular ones because, you know, boobies and stuff, but this is good. This was a good video. Hello everybody, Misfit of the Wild here with a quick update since the recording of the segment. So Kap Cha's video had been age restricted a multitude of times and unfortunately into the ground due to, you know, YouTube shenanigans. And on top of that, his video went viral on Reddit due to Asmongold Gold reposting it and, you know, doing a react to it, which in a way kind of sucks because, you know, those views could have gone to him. It's a weird thing. I'm not gonna get into the whole like semantics about reaction channels, but if you do want to support Kap Cha, and I really think he does really great content, then consider subscribing to his Patreon for like $1 a month to get these things early, because it's people like this in Anitube that matter, and really we need to keep seeing them. A lot of people always want to talk about how like Anitube is dying and all that stuff, and when we have like bright faces like this making the coolest shit ever. So if you are interested and like the video that he does, consider just giving him a subscribe, all the Patreon, all that jazz. But I like to, you know, better clarify everything, so hopefully the video doesn't age too poorly. Anyway, back to the video. Why is my mouth stuck to being open? Yeah, my mouth is stuck this way. There we go. Anywho, like, he addressed the ladies in the room. Like, I like how, like, a lot of fan service videos always kind of skirt away fan service as being like, well, if you don't like it, well, then you're just not the demographic, or it's like, it's only for the boys. And he does go into detail that, like, you know, it's supply and demand. Most shonens are for the demographic of the men. But, like, it was definitely a message where, you know, he said girls get it too. And yeah, there is girl fan service. Jujutsu Kaisen is a lot well known for its hot, sexy men. But, that's not here to there, and I'm not gonna be drilling on this video. The point is, wow. Wow. It's so wow, my mouth refuses to go back to not being open. I'm going to link his Patreon for the uncensored version for those who are interested. I'm going to link, obviously I'm going to link all the channels, but like, this was pretty good. I mean, just go watch this one. Good job, Kap Cha. Thanks everyone for watching this first episode. I'll admit, it's got its kinks and the commentary could have been better, but I had fun doing it. Like I said before, feel free to comment below about whatever's on your mind. Follow all my socials to keep up with this series and anything else I have to work on. You can find all of today's videos in the description below if you're interested in checking these guys out. And finally, I'm going to prepare more water next time because recording this much is a challenge for the vocal cords. See you next time.